Alright, a lot of you guys have been asking for, honestly, some things that you should be picking up and some things that you guys should be dropping going forward into the future metagame. And I've got a few things I wanted to discuss. A few things that might be spiking in price by the time this video goes up, or a few things that are kind of like at that low point that you might want to consider dropping off, just because you don't want to be fucked, you know, having it in your collection or watching it go down in price. So stay tuned for this rendition of Should I Buy It or Should I Not? 2017 edition. Alright, Market Watch Cole 40 here. Back at it with that list of things that I told you you should probably consider picking up. Now, this list isn't going to be too extremely long, but there are a few reasons for some of these things. So guys, you know what? We're not Blue Shirt Robbie today. We are Cement Robbie. I know we're not in the best of HD quality, but you guys are here for the discussion nonetheless. So come on, show me a little bit of love here. We definitely need it, honestly. My eyebrows look funny. But anyway, looking through some of the OCG results and looking at some of their format, it's time to discuss Effect Veiler. Now, you guys know that Ulti-Veiler exists, right? When I was talking to a few people about some of these things, a few of them were like, well, these cards have so many printings, why would I do them? The thing is, just because it has 4 to 5 rarities doesn't mean that the card that is the max rarity, such as Ultimate Effect Veiler here, doesn't mean that it's not going to go up in value. And we've seen countless times with Rescue Cat and things like that, cards out of passive formats should definitely be considered being picked up. Now, there are not a lot of Veilers on the market from what I've seen, because I think people have been gradually picking these up over time with the anticipation to be going into a format where Veiler rotates back in. You know, Drone Lockbird and Veiler have been those cards kind of rotate in and out every once in a while in the format. It's definitely, don't be oblivious to the fact that Veilering a Crystron Needle Fiber does not, you know, not get you into a better position, because it honestly does. And I think a lot of people need to realize that Veilering Double Helix is pretty good as well. There are a lot of things that Veiler does that, sure, Draw and Lockbird can do better in some scenarios, but honestly, Veiler's out of rotation. The ultimates are seemingly cheaper. If you want to move on a playset of Ultimate Veilers, or if you want to make sure you have your playset of Veilers, I always talk about make sure that you have a playset of X card, literally a format staple. And this is one of those times where you'll be rewarded if you act on this very quickly. And it's very important to make sure that you are aware of your timer with these things, because once people start to get wind, like, oh, 25 bucks isn't bad, you know, 75 bucks for a set of these, they might be gone. So, little interesting piece of information. You know, format max rarity staples tend to definitely hold a lot of value, especially in the case of Veiler. I'll even look at max rarity Ghost Ogre. Next up, with the release of everything going on in the OCG and the Link Brains pack, there's been that wee little bit of hype around Synchrons. And max rarity tuning it's been kind of floating around in the price range of 7 to 10 for a little while. And there were times where tunings were a little bit more than $10 to $15. It was a very long time ago. Something to consider with the release of Needle Fiber is, considering the fact that tuning is a max rarity support card, and Synchrons now have more mobility to actually act the way that they were intended to under Master Rule 4. It's one of those things that if the deck gets any sort of push, or if the TCG develops some sort of way to play this deck underneath Master Rule 4, you know, the OCGs started messing around with some of the combos for this, and I can tell you that a lot of these combos are going to be involving our good friend tuning. You know, the ability to search any Synchron card, add it to your hand, mill one afterwards. It's an irreplaceable piece of the combo. Now, on the flip side of this equation, we have Super Quick Draw. Now, some of you will argue that I would rather have my Ultras, this one's not what we're talking about. As of making this video, Quick Draws were pushing near the $8 mark. That's a lot for Supers. This is one of those cards that you'll combo with our good friend, Mr. Tuning. You just search for it. No reason whatsoever not to be playing it. So definitely something to be in consideration. Super Quick Draws, they were 15s at one point in time. Then with the release of the Ultras, they kind of tanked a little bit. There really hasn't been a deck playing them too much, but we've reached that impasse now to where Synchron support in general has started getting a little bit better, and Needle Fiber kind of is honestly one of those missing link cards. And I don't know, it's very important to be aware of the price. I would act on a set of tunings, and honestly, Quick Draws, you don't really lose much on your investment, to be honest with you, especially if the OCG, the masters of making Synchron based decks work, they pull this off. It's definitely something to be acting on at this particular point in time for Bling, or else it's going to go down in value, or go up in value even more. Jesus. The low rarity stuff, if you're watching this video for the low rarity perspective, well, you can pick all this up for like dimes on the dollar for the low rarity stuff. The last big one, Burning Abyss. Now, some of you are going to be like, Robbie, why are you telling people to pick up Burning Abyss now when Dante's have been 10 to 12 for a while? So, you have two things to consider here. They can massively reprint Burning Abyss again. I wouldn't be surprised if, when we get something like DUSA that includes the release of the Link Brains pack, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Burning Abyss stuff gets a further reprint. But Burning Abyss is shown, honestly, it's a very resilient deck for whatever fucking reason. The format's dumbed down to that point now to where for 40 bucks, honestly, you should be able to get everything that you really want for Burning Abyss. You know, you only really need 2 Dantes, honestly, and the rest of the support cards should just be literally throw-ins to pennies on the dollar, depending on the scenario for it. So, I would just be like, you know what, the Burning Abyss Link monster, it does things for the deck. Actually, it does a lot for the deck, a little bit more than I think people want to admit, but you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't have the core laying around, or if you think it's the appropriate time to sell the core. I definitely would be sitting on it if I were you for this scenario. A reprint of Dante doesn't really hurt if your core investment on the Dantes is, what, 20 bucks? I mean, I'm not really too worried about that, but for other cards that are worth 30 to 40 that are possibly getting future reprints, I'd rather sell them for the 30, pick them back up for, literally nothing later on. But those are honestly the 4 things I would give major thought to at the moment. I would definitely make sure I got Veilers, Tunings, Quick Draws, and Burning Abyss. Not so much maybe the Tunings and the Quick Draws, but more of the Burning Abyss and the Effect Veiler, just because from a generic standpoint, having those 2 would be better. And I think, honestly, Synchros are a good deck, but the thing is, they're more of a niche style of play. Now, there are 2 things that I think you should give some serious consideration to dropping right now. Well, Robbie, what are those? One sip of water later. The first one is Beals. Beals has been pushing this $20 to $50 price difference since Pendulum Magician started using it. Beals only has 1 printing. Beals is going to get a reprint. And if I'm not playing Pendulum Magician at the moment, you damn bet your ass that you should be considering offing that thing, because that's a lot of money to lose for a card that you can very easily get in a much easier to obtain printing later on down the road. I think Beals has reached that point to where it just comes down on the chopping block and you're like, well, the format doesn't say I need it right now, so you should probably give some serious consideration to moving it, because this is probably the end or near the end of the block for Beals' price difference, because it's reached that point now to where 1 reprint, game over. And then the last one is Utopia the Lightning. Lightning has been with us in its two forms, the manga and the special edition reprint, only in Europe, for a little while. Lightning has been in and out as a format staple for a while. And it's one of those, what, $25 to $20 for the special edition reprint. One easy to get reprint of that also unfortunately hurts the chances of it. And I know Lightning is pushing it a little bit in the things that you should consider dropping, but we've reached an impasse on the format that it's not so great right now. Same with Beals. If you want to just do your quick cash out on them, make $50 on the two or a little bit more, it's a very golden opportunity to do so. But I only bring this up because a few people were asking me the other day if it's like the time to drop Lightning, and I honestly think it is. But I hope this discussion helps you. Just, you don't have to listen to me. It's going through my head, my opinions on these things. Feel free to share your thoughts down below. Just because I don't respond to the comments doesn't mean I'm not reading them constantly. So anything that you guys think the player base should invest in, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'm out, guys. Later. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.